Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next installment of our SASE podcast with Chris Gilmore. What are the key challenges organizations face when they actually transition to a SASE architecture, and also how can a technology services provider like Axians address these challenges effectively?
The challenges that customers can sort of face can go back the whole way to how they build their business case. If you look at the SD-WAN component of this, so the network piece, people have been doing MPLS, which is a traditional model, for years and years and years and years and years. It's a fairly easy thing to say, I'm renewing this, I want more speed, less cost. That's the typical metrics when you go forwards. Going from MPLS to SD-WAN is a total new technology. So that's a fairly big step for the first time. So you've got to convince your board that's a good idea and the reasons why. Sometimes you might have that ammunition yourself. Sometimes you reach out to the market, reach out to the vendors, talk to the analysts, who can all tell you how much it's a good idea. But you still need to have that ability to reassure your board that they're making the right decision. We can help with that. So Axians can help with everything from actually at the point of building a business case and underpin with the experience we've got and the referenceability, and we can reference the number of customers and different deployment models and different technologies, and in effect de-risk that for that customer. So the first part is how they de-risk the initial kind of step into the unknown. The same with going from a physical security infrastructure to a cloud one. Some people like seeing a box with a little flashy light, and it gives them a warm, fuzzy feeling inside. Saying we're taking that security box that's there, that does stuff that you know it does stuff, and we're going to throw that away, and we're going to move stuff to the cloud, which you can't see, you can't touch, and you can't see a little flashing light. There's a lot of trust based there. You know, I can sit here and go, yeah, and it's a bit emperor's clothes, right? I'm working on my laptop. I've built policies. It's all done. You're secured, right? They've seen nothing. There's nothing tangible to touch. So that is a big trust piece as well. So part of it is just helping them get over those initial hurdles. Once you've got over the initial hurdles, you've then got to try and understand what you have currently, what doesn't work, what you're trying to achieve, what you want to work, and things that you need it to do moving forward, so that your strategic mapping from your CIO or your CTO can blend into how you build and design the solution. And again, we've got a lot of experience in building SD-WAN and cloud security platforms and services. We've been doing it since kind of 2015. We've had managed services since 2017. So we know how to do this, to de-risk it. We also know how to build the services so that they map into what you're trying to achieve. So fundamentally, from a customer's perspective, the challenges they can have are the initial sort of, how do I kind of take that first step forward and convince my board. Then it's about understanding and finding someone that you trust to help you de-risk the overall solution. But then from a more kind of pointy technical perspective, you've got to understand SD-WAN is policy driven, right? How do you build policies? Cloud security is policy driven. What policies do I want? So it's about sitting down with them, understanding what they're trying to do, strip it back to what do you do as a business, what services do you use, what applications do you use, where are they hosted, who accesses those, do they need to, what security challenges have you got that you've experienced, what ones are you aware of, what ones are you on your CISO's mind of, here's my tick list of things I really, really want this to do now. How many of those are essential? How many of those are maybe a phase 2? Do we do it as a full, you're now on cloud security, or do we migrate as a slow and sort of phased approach? All of these things about how you translate your current infrastructure and what works and what doesn't work into, in effect, next generation network and next generation security. They're not insignificant challenges. And we've got a lot of experience at doing exactly those migrations. So we can sit and work through step by step everything from, here's the networking policies, here's the sort of things we can allow you to do. Oh, I want it to do this. Oh, we've found we can do that this way. I've got users in really challenging locations, like, for example, China. We've done that. We've worked with a number of customers in there. We know what build and architectural models you have to put in place to be compliant with local restrictions. I think it's leveraging the experience that we've got in having done this. We've got the badge. We've had all the pain and misery. We've learned from it all. so you don't have to as a user. And it's about helping you to walk through from it could be as early as business case, it could be I've got an RFP, help me. And in fact, we've actually got to the point where we work with a number of customers who have chosen and deployed SD-WAN. It's not doing what they say they want it to do, right? It's not delivered on the promises they were told they would get and the benefits they would get. And we can come in at that point and we can help them to re-architect it and to optimize it to make sure it maps to what they're trying to do. So fundamentally, it's experience. It's experience and skills and having, in effect, hit all the walls and pain points before to mitigate those and remove those so that we can be as seamless as possible with our customers and hold their hand every single step of the way, knowing that we know the individual intricacies and idiosyncrasies of the different platforms and how they work and how to get the best out of those for those customers. We got one customer whose network operations is in Barcelona and their security operations in architecture are in London. We had an even better one, which was a global car company who their networking team was in Colombia and their security team were in the Philippines. And we introduced them to each other. So the first 20 minutes of the meeting was us helping them introduce themselves to each other. So sometimes this move to the combined solutions and moving the teams together is going to be really beneficial because you're going to leverage the skills on both sides and you're going to be bringing your company closer together. So all of the engineering glue that holds the whole place in peace is going to be a glue. The example I give is it's 2 stacks of Lego, right? You can build a fantastic Lego model there and you can build a fantastic Lego model there. But the best one's when you kind of shove them both together and make a huge model. You've got a kind of a force multiplier and you can use all the bricks in a different way and then, in effect, you can achieve far more than 2 little models to the side. And a lot of it is businesses realising that there are silos, trying to reduce those silos because the silos are stopping them from being innovative. And a lot of businesses now are looking at technology as a way of them getting that extra kind of edge on their competition. They want businesses are trying to find any small facet of the smallest area of their organisation that if they can tweak it and get a 0.5% gain on the competition, that has real monetary benefit. That's real material kind of improvement in terms of it could be a revenue, it could be reputational because they're seen as the number one X in that market, and when you're trying to appeal to your end customers, some of these cachet points are really, really significantly important. The revenue's nice, but fundamentally, if you can be the number one in your area, people love that. That's reputation just goes through the roof. So technology is seen as a driver for a lot of this, and part of the way you adopt the technology is you try and make it so that you're removing all the internal walls that are stopping things from happening as much as bringing in new technology.
Chris, so in summary, could you say why do customers actually choose Axians?
I think it's a combination of things. Most of the vendors we work with see us as a safe pair of hands. We've got a reputation for being very good at handling very complex solutions, which means that if the solution is slightly less complex, it's even more in our sweet spot. But we do complex multi-geography, 50-country deployment, that sort of global scale piece. We can manage that sort of complexity. We've been doing this for a long time. Like I said, we've been looking at SD-WAN since 2015-ish. We've had managed services around SD-WAN since 2017. Our churn rate is nigh on negligible. So our customers come to us, they stay with us because we evolve the service to map what they're trying to do. And because we've got the experience of having done it, so we have done early stage, bleeding edge adopter, moving from legacy network to SD-WAN when there was a lot of unknowns, and we helped underpin those. As it's become more trusted and kind of tried technology, we have the experience to help them. And I think part of it is going back to that, working out what they're trying to do to help them translate that into what it needs to look like. There are a lot of people out there who say they're SD-WAN experts or SASE experts, and they will be able to drive the tools to deliver something. The solution is won or lost at the design level, right? Deployment, I can get people to do deployment. It's a scale thing. You put more and more. The tools are quite helpful. The tools are quite intuitive. So you can learn how to deploy this. I'd say if you've got a basic engineering kind of capability, we could get there with you. The bit that's the real art is understanding what the design needs to be. So working out, what do you have now? What works? What doesn't work? What are your strategic direction? What's your next initiatives? What do your network not do now? What do you need it to do? How flexible do you need it? What security posture do you need to have? What policies do you have currently that you want to translate across? What new things you'd like to add to it? What's the CISO's hit list of hell? I must have that, and that, which tends to change almost on a daily basis. But being able to translate all of those varying inputs into a cohesive and kind of integrated solution that actually works is a really complex thing. And we've done it. We've got the badges. We've hit the pain. We've hit the walls. We've learnt the lessons. We can bring that to our customers. And then off the back of that, we build services around what the customer needs. So they're not T-shirt size. They're what do you need the service to look like? Because if you've gone through the pain and misery of building a business case and going through that all arduous task of getting funding for something new, you want it to be as close to what you need it to be as possible. So we try and map the solutions that we put together and the services we put together as closely to the fundamental requirements the customer's got. So we're trying to map as much to where they mentally wanted to be but didn't know how to articulate or didn't know how to sort of design or build. And I think that's it. I mean, it's a experience. We always listen to what they're trying to do. There's never a point we walk in with an answer before they said what the question is. We will always ask the question. We'll always ask a lot of questions. And we try and really burrow down as to what the fundamental business requirements are, what's the outcomes you're trying to achieve, and we work from there outwards. But it's a very collaborative engagement as well. We don't go, right, we're the experts, we'll go off and do this. We're working continually with our customers to make sure we've got checkpoints the whole way through, to make sure we're on. We're not deviating from where they think we should be going, and getting that input at all kind of stages of the design process.
And we've won the trust of our vendors over the years, and built partnerships.
Yeah. There are a lot of people out there, like I said, who can do an SD-WAN deployment in the UK. There's an entirely different thing from designing a full SASE solution in 50 sites in the UK to a full SASE solution in 50 sites in 50 countries. There's a whole load of different requirements around design, even as basic as things like logistics, import duty. How do you get things there? How do you deploy clients to users that could be in areas that are nowhere close to an IT desk? All of those sort of complex challenges we've typically done already. So that's why we can leverage that to help bring that forward. Doesn't mean we don't do the 50-site UK site, environments. We do them as well. But it's more a case of we can hit everything from sort of homegrown to fully global.
Chris, thank you very much for your time, and we hope everybody's found the SASE podcast really interesting. If you would like any more information, please do get in touch with us. You've got all the contact details available. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chris.
So if anyone has any questions or would like to discuss SASE as a concept in further detail, please reach out to me. I'm on LinkedIn. It's Chris Gilmore, and I'll be very interested in hearing from you and discussing anything SASE.